So in 2020, Ford refreshed the Ford Explorer, and it was actually quite a bit of a sizable change because they went from a traditional front-wheel drive platform to a rear-wheel drive platform. I think part of the reason they did this is they wanted a little bit better handling and a rear-wheel drive platform. Some people prefer the handling versus a front-wheel drive. It's less of a car and it's more of a truck-like. You get a little bit more towing capability. They were really trying to fight against the Grand Cherokee, as the Grand Cherokee was a rear-wheel drive platform with four-wheel drive front axle assist. And it was a really nice upgrade in my opinion. I think this is a more better built platform than the prior generation. The ST has always been one of the trim platforms that for me has been my favorite because I just think it looks sharp. Number one, a 3-liter EcoBoost. Of all the EcoBoost engines Ford has made to date, it's actually my favorite. And for that reason, it's not just because of fuel economy, it's the performance. Yes, are there engines they make that are EcoBoost with more power? There sure are. The 3.5 EcoBoost makes more power. But it's hard to explain the way the power of the 3-liter makes power. It's a more fun, free revving engine than the 3.5. It's actually all it is just a larger displacement built off the 2.7-liter EcoBoost, which was originally called the Nano. What we're seeing here is the all-new 2025. And when I say all new, it's really just a refresh. It's the same platform, but if we kind of compare the two next to each other, you can see the front fascia is completely different. The grille shape is different. The headlight shape is different. Even the badging is different. You see the lower fascia is designed differently. Your sensors are in different locations. The LEDs go from horizontal to vertical. You even have, actually, if we look through here, I think this is a functional duct for air work for the braking. I don't believe this is functional. It might sneak around here. Actually, it does. It is just shaped differently, but I wonder if this can actually bring in more air. Now, if we go down the sides, let's see what we got for tires. This is a Scorpion all-season 275 45 21. We go here. This is actually Pirelli Scorpion Zero, also an all-season 275 45 21. We look at the brakes on this thing. I'm looking at the caliper size, rotor size. Looks very similar. I'm not seeing anything different, just a little bit different shape of the rim. Now we go down the side of the vehicle. If we look at the cladding, if we look at the fenders, this is where you see a lot of the commonality. You can tell the fender shapes side to side are the same. Door shape is the same. The lower cladding goes down the side of the door. Stamping's the same. Door handles look the same. I am noticing this feature is gone. I don't see that on the current one, on the 2025. If we go down the back, you can see the same cladding down the sides. Still both red calipers. Sweeping to the rear, let's look at the tail light. Kind of got the reverse lights in the middle with the contour LED on the side. And actually, this went from the two vertical to the two horizontal to the two vertical, and you see how you kind of like this blade LED. That's a little bit different. We go down the side here. Yeah, you still got the 1, 2, 3, 4 vertical. It's very similar. So side looks the same, but in the back it's changed a little bit. Now this is where I think this looks a lot sharper. Okay, so now I've got the lights on, and this is where you're gonna start seeing a big difference. So you can kind of see the outline like I mentioned there, but look at this lighting that goes across the back. That looks super cool. I really like that. It kind of almost mimics if you see the Aviator or Nautilus. I think it's the Nautilus has a little bit of that badging, whereas now if we go across the outgoing model, you don't have that light that goes across. So it really kind of jazzes it up a little bit. Now if we look at the rest of the fascia, we can see as far as the exhaust and the trim work around, looks very similar. I'm gonna now scan over to the 24. Very, very similar. You got the dual quad or the quad tip exhaust with the, looks like a class 3 receiver hitch. So that looks really similar. You've even got the same spoiler, can tell on the back there versus the outgoing 2024. Same types of rails as far as I don't see any different shape down the top, so that's nice. All right, now let's look at the window sticker. Let's first start with the 2024. So as we can see, this is rapid red metallic. This is the 401A with the ST High package. This gets you the Street Pack, Copilot Assist 3.60, 24 model year. You've paid the $495 more for the rapid red coat. This gets you the 50 state emissions, twin panel moonroof, $1,700, $1,695. You do get a credit actually for the camera and the technology package for a grand total of $62,900. Now let's look at the fuel economy. 18 city, 24 highway, mixed 20. That's $62,900. Now let's compare that to the new 2025. I think this might surprise you. So 2025, this is also rapid red. When I look at this though, this is a 400A package, not a 401. But the only upcharge you have is the color, $495. This comes with Blue Cruise, has the twin panel moonroof. This is not broken out, for a grand total of $61,290. Fuel economy 18 city, 25 highway for mixed 20 miles per gallon. So you initially think, well, this is a 400A package car, or this is a 401A package vehicle, so there should be more content. This is where things get interesting. This has the sunroof. This has the full 360 plus hands-free driving. This technically has higher technology with the Blue Cruise technology, where this one does not. But this actually has a MSRP of about $1,500 less. So what's wild is you actually get an MSRP. You get a model year newer for $1,700 less for the 2025 than the outgoing 2024. So we kind of compare the exterior. We know the powertrains are pretty similar. There's, you know, I think 1 mile per gallon difference in fuel economy. Here's another thing I just noticed. I don't know, it's kind of like a little styling cue I kind of think looks cool. You got like these little air vents down the bottom here. You don't have that on the 24. I wonder if they're just looking for more cooling, or kind of what the story is there. But now let's take a look at the inside of the 24 we'll start with. So we open up the door, kind of compare, look at this is all soft touch, which is nice. Kind of got the piano trim color black that goes down the side. Some people like this, some people don't, because it shows a little bit of dust and scratches. But you got the red and blue, looks nice. The B&O speakers in the side. You have your presets for your different drivers. Got some pretty good storage in the side of the doors. Got your nice Ford Performance badging. The same stitching follows through the seats. The ST badge here. Kind of see the interior. Now let's look and see the startup and just look at the general interior of this. So this has the vertical screen. This was what was pretty popular when this generation came out. Kind of see just the different dash layout. This has been kind of the standard dash layout for the past like 4 years. You can see your tack, and you can customize some of this also. See the steering wheel, kind of see the different controls. Got the suede on the side. Here's your steering wheel controls. We'll be curious to see how this compares to the all new 2025. Got your sunglass holder, got your sunroof. We'll open that up, just a little shade. This looks like I don't know if this is Alcantara or suede. And then here's your controls for your drive modes, as well as your transmission. And you got a little storage area here, which is nice. I don't know if this one has the wireless charging. I'm not seeing it there. Oh, it's back here, I forgot. Wireless charging is right here. But you do have a nice little storage here. Some people like the vertical display, some people don't. Doesn't matter to me either way. One of the things I've never been a big fan of is when you do reverse, you're only really using half of the display. This is literally much smaller. So I'll be curious to see how that compares. This has the paddle shifter still. Let's look at, got the same glove box. You can kind of see the trim work, how it kind of goes across the dash. I don't mind this, this interior theme looks pretty sharp with the piano black. Let's look at the storage in the middle. Not bad. All right, let's check out the second row now. Okay, we get in the second row. You still have your really nice privacy for the kids in the second row. This has always been a really great feature, I think. I wish all SUVs had this. Soft touch, good storage on below. This version has the captain's chairs, which are really nice. You can actually adjust the recline these, which is really nice, and get you in the back. And I noticed this one does not have that little tray in the middle, which I actually prefer. I think that thing just kind of got in the way. Gives you a little bit of heated seats in the second row. You've got a 150 watt inverter setup for, just a 120 volt. And then you've got, I think a little cup holder. Then you've got USB connections. And then you've got your controls for HVAC. Otherwise, it's pretty simple here. We don't have any secondary panels for kids. Third row there. Got a nice little transition from second to third row. Nice little space in between here. Good storage underneath. This seems a lot nicer than the one we had. I didn't think ours was all that robust in this area. I felt like it was always going to break. But this is a nice little storage spot. You have the power second and third row. I like that. Kind of see a speaker here, a little storage up there, something for some privacy, some tie downs, cup holders. Not bad. I do like the look of these rims. I've always thought it's a pretty sharp looking rim. All right, let's compare this now to the 2025 model year. So what do we notice here? little bit different contour in the material, still soft touch everywhere. This is like updated, so you have just the red stitching. Otherwise, you still got the B&O speaker there, same storage. This looks very similar. Seating wise, looks very similar, except there's more suede in the middle, and I like how this is inset. I think that looks really cool. I like that. This looks like a more comfortable seat, maybe less sporty, but a little more comfortable. Now let's see what the interior of this thing looks like. You notice right off the bat, a lot of changes. This is completely different. This is like a fabric material that goes across the dash. Completely different. This used to be the wireless charging here. Now the wireless charging is right here. This actually makes sense because you're always going to see your phone here. I kind of like that, and it's kind of like this cool grippy material. It's kind of deep too, so you could definitely put two phones there. The thing right off the bat I notice, which some people will like and some people won't, I'm not sure, I do prefer it. There's no physical buttons I'm seeing here for your HVAC controls. Everything is now on the display. So there's your controls for your air and heat. There's your seating controls. What I do like is everything seems pretty fast. This reminds me much like the new Nautilus interior from Lincoln. The controls seem fast, but I am always a fan of physical buttons, but this looks much more premium and refined than the 2024. Sweeping across, this is still all soft touch. Steering wheel looks very, very similar. Controls are in the same location, still paddle shifters, suede, still says the ST, that looks nice, piano black. But now you notice that is your hands-free driving for your Blue Cruise. And if you notice, this display has changed just a little bit. You still have a lot of customization, but that is still very similar. All your controls for your lighting is in the same spot, seating. Transmission controls look the same in drive mode. But if you notice, you don't have the four-wheel drive location here. I don't see any of that. It just went to a simple knob. So that's interesting. Here's your storage area. I actually think this looks pretty sharp. I kind of like this extra tray. And then you have a really deep storage there, which is nice. USB A and C. I like how this says Explore. I think that's pretty neat. This looks much more premium across the dash. I really do like that. Storage there is the same, but the seating, it feels much more comfortable. I'll tell you that. I really do like what they did with the seating. Storage in the middle, similar. I don't see anything different there. Oh, this feels really nice. Let's go check out the second row now. Oh, and you still have your Ford Performance entry, just in case you were wondering. That's kind of cool. I like that. Explorer, established 1991. Very cool. All right, you still got the same privacy shade. Very nice. Nice little B&O speaker cover. Soft touch everywhere. Looks really good. Seating looks pretty similar in the second row. Same entry guards, same pockets in the rear. Same controls for the second row, same wattage inverter, but they did get rid of that cover for your USB A and C. And honestly, I think this was a smart move because I've never understood the point of covering that. This makes sense so kids don't stick something in there, but this one I've never really understood. That was a good move, I think, by Ford, simplifying. Heated controls there. It still doesn't have the tray in here. You can still recline your seats. HVAC controls still in the ceiling, HVAC vents. Got your third row below in the back. I like this ST imprinted behind there, embossed, looks nice. Check out the third row. I really like that light across the back. It gives it almost an Audi-esque theme. Now, let's see if they got rid of some features. And it looks like they did not, so that's good. Just trying to see what's changed here. Storage looks identical, both sides. Okay, that's good. See the same clasps. You have a USB-C over there. I need to see if that's on the other one. You still got your cup holders and a little storage in the side. I don't know, it looks pretty similar to me. I'm not noticing anything too crazy there difference. Let's compare. Yeah, so that actually is an upgrade. This one does not have, and the 24 did not have the USB-A back in the third row. So that's an upgrade over 2024. And I'm just gonna show you a little bit of a side profile here, just so you can kind of see this angle from right here, where you see almost like a little bit of an eyebrow there that tail light adds on the 24 versus the on the 25 versus the 24. So you see the 24 just kind of goes down. This looks really good. It almost gives you a little bit, I don't know if you want to say Audi or Porsche Macan, but it really does give it a little bit more luxury. I like that. So exterior wise, one of the things I noticed when I was looking at the headlights, not only are they shaped different, if we look across this, kind of see just the LEDs. These are both, actually those are reflector LEDs. Now let's see what they had for 24. Those were also reflectors, but you got rid of that little beam in the middle. It also no longer says Explorer there. But you did pick up, I call it like the Blade LED. I think that looks really sharp. You don't have that on the 24. Profile-wise, they're very, very similar. It's just this is a little bit more aggressive front end. You can see it's a little more vertical, whereas the other one's a little more horizontal. Now, one thing I want to play with here, if we play with the different drive modes, what this does on the dash. Balanced every day, wet, icy, snowy, light off-roading, normal, efficient, that gets you better fuel economy, sport mode, I'm assuming this is going to throw it in all-wheel drive. I don't know if it's going to say that or not. And you got your tow haul mode. What's interesting is I'm not noticing the displays change. I'll play around and see if there is a way to do that. I'm not seeing that. My view. Curious if this gives you a performance view. No, map view. Okay. So this drive mode here, when I play with this, I don't see a way where I can put in physically a four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. I think it just manages the drive modes for it. This is where I think you're going to see the big difference, though, is if we go over here. I got to look and see what operating system this is, but it's pretty responsive. I'm glad to see that. You got nice ambient lighting with a bunch of different colors. A hill descent control, your seats. Does this have massaging? Yes, it does. I'm feeling the massaging right now. That is cool. That is a feature that we really liked. We used to have an Explorer ST, and that was a feature I really liked. Kind of sold us on that feature in vehicles. Now we go back to the home button. So you have Google Maps, go into your different apps. There's a ton of options. Kind of funny. Let's see settings here. Lots of options here. Vehicle, system. You got YouTube apps. I see your different individual seating controls. Yeah, I mean, that looks all pretty basic. Now, let's go to reverse and let's see what the backup camera looks like on this. Huge improvement. Huge. If we looked at the last generation, this was basically the camera. I mean, this is easily 3 times bigger backup camera. And you still have the guidance lines that change. I like that. And I think you can zoom in. Let's see the different views if we just want all rear. Very nice. If we want just that, very nice. I like personally having a 360 here. And I think you can zoom in these specific zones. How cool is that? Very neat. Click to the front. Nice. Nice. Okay. So that's a nice feature. You still have your manual mode where you can paddle shift just like the prior generation. One thing I noticed, these drive modes, when you changed it, the tactileness is like super smooth. You don't feel the notch that you feel on some other vehicles. Start touch button is still in the same spot. Let's just, for simplistic sake, let's go now and check out some of the different menus and technology for the other 2024. And oh, by the way, let's check out the payload. 1,175 pounds payload in the 25. You definitely notice right off the bat the difference in the seat. The suede kind of covered this whole area. This does get that nice little embossed ST, but I actually prefer the one with the Alcantara material in the back. I think this seat would be a little bit warmer of a seat because you have less ventilation. Okay, now all these menus have now moved up on the dash up here for the 2025, and you can immediately tell this is a much different layout. These buttons are gone on the 2025. These heating controls are moved down here, and this screen has slipped sideways and went larger. So now when we go to the display, I'm going to play around with different drive modes, and let's see how the dash changes. I think we might see a little different layout here. I think it changes a little bit more. Eco mode. Sport mode. Let's see. I know the gauges are going to change here. Yep, so you can kind of see the gauges change. I don't know if in 25 they went away from that feature or if those modes have just not been enabled on the 2025. But it does, off the showroom floor, look to be a little bit different in what changes for each of the drive modes. And when I talked about tactileness, you can feel a much more abrupt, like, chunkiness to the movement of the drive modes on the 2024. But overall, when we go back to the backup camera, look at the difference there. I mean, it's a huge difference. We don't even really have any features here. I don't know, actually, I don't even think this is a 360 camera vehicle, which is wild that it doesn't even have this, but there are your features. Another thing, if we want to look at the keys, there's no difference. Same features, both say ST. No difference in the keys. Both the functionality, let's see. I'm gonna just see if, doesn't have the little green light. Now let's try the 25. Nope. Now I will say it's kind of interesting. I swear that the 25 sounded a little bit quieter. I wonder if they changed the starter design or something, but it sounded a little bit quieter in the 2025. Kind of see the headlight designs, just your different bezels flickering right now. It doesn't obviously do that in real life, but you can kind of at least see the difference between the two. I don't know, I kind of like the 25 front end a little more. I want to thank Bob Maxxey here in Howell, Michigan, to Matt and Josh W. If you're looking at either of these vehicles, these guys are great, top-notch salespeople, always very helpful and happy to help out customers. They just let me do a vehicle overview, interior, exterior, comparing some of the differences from 24 to 25. If you just compared the numbers, the 2025 gets you a lot more technology for $1,700 less MSRP. But I do know right now, Ford is offering big discounts on leases on 2024s. So if you want to snag a deal on leftover inventory, you're leasing, this is not a bad vehicle. And the 3-liter ST is a really fun SUV to drive. It doesn't have that clunky, lethargic SUV feeling that most of your midsize SUVs feel like. But I'm really impressed with the changes they made in 2025. And I think people are gonna really appreciate the updates in technology, especially in this infotainment area. This was a huge upgrade. I like that new updated dash layout. That looks really cool. And then these seats, I think these are gonna be cooler for long driving as well as just being more comfortable. And I'm glad that they still kept massaging seats. I think people would like either one of these options. For me, I would probably go with the 2025 just because I like the new display and the refreshed front end. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do, feel free to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave a note down below. Thanks for watching.